Hello and welcome to Essen for the Tag der Überflieger meeting. The second day of action here as we introduce our senior women's triple jumpers. So nice outer air inner city meeting here with a crowd close by, and specialising in these field events we're going to see triple jump, high jump and pole vault as well. So really nice setting for these athletes to make the most of their moment in front of supporters. So continuing these introductions, this is Kira Wittmann, who recently won the German indoor title. A chance to get the shakeout run ready and warm up as much as anything with these introductions as well. In this unique setup. This is Daria Derkash, the Italian, a European indoor silver medalist 3 years ago. Iloni Guillaume, European bronze medalist outdoors in Rome 2 years ago. Next, Gabriela Petrova, the Bulgarian, European indoor silver medalist in 2015, having a decent season so far, 14:29 in Athens earlier this month. So we've seen quite a few meetings like this over the years, including the City Games in the UK and Jumps Fest more recently in Kozice. Davis Lady Velasco, the latest to be introduced, the 26-year-old Cuban, former World Under-20 medalist. See, the vaulters' poles were neatly tucked in the corner there. We'll see the triple jumping space in a moment. Caroline Joyot, German athlete who was first at the European Team Championships last year in Spain. Well, as you can see, it's a pretty sunny day in Essen in Germany today, and there's actually a heat warning in the region. 29 degrees, zero chance of rain, and humidity 57%. So certainly for the athletes, it's one to bear in mind and to stay hydrated between attempts if they can. So I mentioned pole vault, so this an ongoing event. Entrants include Bokandalita Bayra, a European silver medalist 4 years ago. By the way, results and the schedule and start lists are all on the German Athletics Federation website. And you'll be able to find them by searching for the meeting name, Tag der Überflieger. See, the bar comes clattering off there for Ben Duvenbeck. First attempt at 5:20. So this is actually the junior pole vault that we were just watching just there. And he's the only athlete still left vaulting. 2 others went out, 3 failures at 5:12. So he has won that competition and showing us a meeting record as well for a junior. And now those triple jumpers who were introduced just a moment ago starting. The meeting record here is actually held by Caroline Joyot at 14:45. She's her personal best. This year she's jumped 13:94. Opening up here is Ruth Hildebrand, 12:44 in the opening round. Hildebrand, who was a 5th place finisher at the World Under-20 Championships in 2022. Ilona Masson, we've seen her on quite a few of these European athletics streams. I suppose one reason being that in Belgium you've got quite a few meetings within neighbouring countries, France, Germany, Belgium itself, Netherlands. Lots of competition opportunities, and yeah, we saw Masson last year jump over 14 metres for the first time. She's recently now improved her personal best to 14:26, and that was earlier this month on the 7th of June in Lucca in Italy. The 4 times Belgian champion has space to spare there on the board. And a solid start for Masson with 13:93. Kira Wittmann. I mentioned she won the German indoor title earlier this year, 14:08 at best. Season's best coming twice this year, January and February, of 13:94. One of 4 German athletes then in this senior triple jump. You can hear the athlete as they come through pounding that surface there, which has been set up for this street event. And there will be something athletes will have to think about in the triple jump, particularly when you're hitting it multiple times. But there is a bit of a little bit of movement there, a little bit of vibration perhaps. It might affect your jump, might be something to adjust to. But we do see some brilliant performances at these events, and part of that is because of the spotlight on each individual jumper and just focusing on that rather than other track events interspersed with it. So looking here at Duvenbeck again, 5:20. So let's have a look. Accelerating down this runway, going to plant this pole, climb to 12 o'clock. Unfortunately, same result. Daria Durkash, the Italian. Top 8 finish at the Olympic Games, World Championships and Europeans over the last few years, specifically across the 2023 and 2024 seasons. But you can see foot there well over where it needed to be, I'm afraid. Just the opening round though. So there are 9 entrants in this triple jump. So, well, you'd hope that they'll all get 6 jumps. Ilonie Guillaume, French with a great triple jumping tradition across men's and women's disciplines. Decent foot placement, good knee lift as well. Still some space to spare. Should be a solid effort, Lola. Let's see what the distance is. So Masson leading at the moment with 13:93. And you can see slotting into second place behind that is Guillaume. 13:79. Okay, more athletes coming out to be introduced.
Siegerehrung durchgeführt durch die aktuelle erste Vorsitzende des TLV Germania Überruhr, Elke Rühenauer, und die erste Vorsitzende, die diese Veranstaltung mit erfunden hat, Elfi Edlich. Herzlichen Dank. Auf dem dritten Rang mit 14,80 Meter, ganz aus dem hohen Norden vom TSV St. Peter-Ording, Paul Klingenhof.
So this is the medal presentation for the under 20 men's triple jump. This is Paul Klingenhof, who jumped 14 meters 80. So they're all under 20 athletes. This is Joel Yama of the SCC Berlin club. So his distance today 14:91, coming in the final round. And a meeting record then for Benedikt Maurer, 15:69. So big margin of victory that. Get the victory on the day. So meeting record looks like it had been 15 meters 16, jointly held by Maximilian Kottmann and Luca Gostens. So Maurer for the Stadtwerke München club. See, nice powerful drive down this runway, just keeps accelerating, and so fluid there. You can see, well, sometimes athletes stutter and just lose momentum all the way through, and the jump ended up being a little bit flat, but you can see there he was really buoyed by that step phase and energized into the pit to jump over 15 meters. So yeah, nearly 80 centimeters between him and second place. A meeting record by more than half a meter. Back to Dervenbeck in the pole vault. So only athlete left in, and this will now be his final attempt at 5 meters 20. Actually only attempted 3 heights before this. One failure before this height, 490. Let's see what he can do then. Unfortunately, not his day today. So, but came in though with a personal best of 5:05, equalled that a little earlier on, then passed 5:12 up to 5:20. But yeah, still comes away with a meeting record. It had been 494, standing to Yilo Filtjens, who goes in the senior pole vault in a short while. So we have a look here at Davis Lady Velasco of Cuba. So much jumping talent coming out of Cuba. Real consistent factory of talent. The interesting thing about Velasco is she's got a massive personal best just recently. So came in Doha at the Diamond League just the other day on Friday night. 15:13 was 14:85 until then, and in total this year she's improved by 41 centimeters.
Und jetzt steht die nächste bereit, die Vorjahressiegerin, die deutsche Meisterin aus Berlin, Caroline Joyeux.
So now Caroline Joyeux, 14:45 at best. Meeting record holder here. I think her foot was over the line though, and just put her a little off balance, a little off to that right hand side. Tricky, of course, because if you're even so slightly off centre, you'd be a bit worried about falling off the side of the runway. Wasn't that close to doing so, but it does make you a little bit nervous. 13:61, just the opening round, of course.
ersten Durchgang, Übersicht auch eingeblendet.
So Velasco, our new leader, with 14:51, taking over the meeting record that had been held by Joyo just before that. On to another medal presentation. So obviously we've seen junior men's pole vault conclude. We've seen the medal ceremony for junior men's triple jump. And this, the under 20 women's triple jump. Emanuela Mensa, 12:60 for her, showing as a personal best for the Kell-Furt Club. So third place for her. And then Berenika Roos of the Wattenscheid Club, 12:78, 18 centimeters further than Mensa. And the only female athlete over 13 meters today, Antonia Bronnert of Löningen.
Herzlichen Glückwunsch, tolle Ergebnisse in der Jugend und die Erwachsenen, die sind dran mit dem zweiten Durchgang.
So two real standout athletes at the top of the charts of the under 20 triple jump happened a little earlier on. This is how things stand at the end of the first round then of the senior women's triple jump. Velasco out front.
Ganz guter Versuch, aber wir sehen es, die Fußspitze ist drüber, ungültig. Der zweite von Ruth Hildebrand.
So Ruth Hildebrand starting off the second round with a foul though, unfortunately for her. 12:44 a few moments ago. Her personal best 13:75 set in Ulm in Germany last year. Next, as you can see, will be Sarah Michelle Kudla. So she was the German indoor bronze medalist behind Wittmann and Joyo earlier this year. Season's best of 13:79 in Hamburg in January. So you're watching live coverage of the Tag der Überflieger meeting in Essen. This is the senior women's triple jump. Second round. I think she was flying over the board there again. Always hard to tell in real time from that angle, but we'll wait and see the replay. Yes. That's still plenty of time though to get valid measurements in, just taking a few risks and figuring out the boundaries. Not a normal experience compared to what the athletes are used to, both in training and in other competitions, so that may also take some getting used to. Ilona Masson, the 24-year-old Belgian. If she can improve her PB to closer to 14:50, then could start to be medal contention come the Europeans. Could well have been another foul though there.
So, also wir schauen mal. Da wird noch eine Menge gehen in diesem Dreisprung. Wir sehen das richtig gute Versuche, die aber alle so einen halben Fuß drüber sind. Auch der Versuch von Ilona Masson ungültig also.
Just looking, in fact, 14:43 was enough for a medal at the last Europeans in Rome. Zhuang, of course, getting that medal, and 14:35 just missing out.
Mit 13:65, damit ist sie im Moment Vierte. Und jetzt geht's in ihren zweiten Versuch. Kira Wittmann.
Wittmann, the young German here. Tall figure. And got good extension there and good knee lift, but not carrying quite as much speed as some of the other athletes.
So, Kira Wittmann, gültiger zweiter Versuch. Und das sind genau 14 Meter!
14 meters exactly, and that is why she's delighted. It's her season's best. Has jumped 14.
Nur in der Halle in Dortmund war sie mal ein paar Zentimeter drüber. 14 Meter für Kira Wittmann.
So puts her in second place. Yeah, she jumped 14.08. That was 3 years ago indoors. So effectively, I believe that's an outdoor personal best. Yeah, she's never cleared 14 meters until now outdoors. Of course, we don't know the wind readings at this stage. Just having a look to see. Generally, the wind's completely still. There's quite a few where there's no wind at all, 0.0, which sometimes is a bit suspect. That's the case, including with Wittmann's first jump.
Ja, leider ungültiger zweiter Versuch auch bei Daria Derka. Aber wir sehen bei allen, hier ist eine Menge drin. Ganz knapp war der hier ungültig.
Daria Derkash. Very unfortunate there. That's her second foul this time.
Siegerehrung Nummer 3 im Vorprogramm des heutigen Tages. Das ist die Siegerehrung im Hochsprung der weiblichen Jugend. Ja, und ihr kennt die beiden mittlerweile. Siegerehrung durchgeführt durch Elke Rühenauer und durch Elfie Ettelt. Wir gratulieren der dritten Platzierten mit überschwungenen 1,74 Meter für Munich Athletics, Florentine Toppe.
This is the medal presentation then for the under-20 women's high jump. Florentina Toppe, 174.
Und die Siegerin sprang 1,83 Meter, WM-Norm und Meeting-Rekord für den...
Lea Volker, second place, 174 also, so went down to count back. And then Caroline Evers, meeting record, 183, so improving on that by 1 centimeter.
Für die Stadt, für die drei Sprecherinnen. Wo dann noch schon wieder frei ist, Félix Guillaume aus Frankreich, zweiter Versuch.
So this the winning jump for Eva's. Really good athleticism there. There wasn't much of a gap between her and the bar.
Ja, Brett gar nicht getroffen, ungültig.
Sprung up nice and high. Kept her form throughout. The Werder Bremen club athlete, another very familiar vest. Not necessarily seen it that much in athletics compared to other German clubs like Bayer Leverkusen, for example. Very familiar from football. So Gabriela Petrova. I think they're playing the winning Eurovision song from Bulgaria as well, combining with her jump, which is a nice combination. So that season's best 14:29 in Athens that I mentioned. Having a decent season, of course. That's the European qualifying mark, 14:20. 14.28, so only 1 centimetre shy of that. Athlete who's been in the top 6 at the European Outdoor Championships 3 times, including 5th in 2014, her best in Zurich. Very enthusiastic Davis Lady Velasco, former World Under-20 medalist in Tampere in 2018. Gosh, that was 8 years ago now. There have been, what, 3 World Junior Championships since then? Nairobi, Cali and Lima, and then 1 coming up this summer in Eugene. A lot of athletes be quite excited about going there, given how fast the surface tends to be. Another foul, though, that we're seeing this time for leader, of course, a new meeting record holder. Caroline Joyot, 13.61 for 5th place. Yes, beaten by Kira Wittmann at the German Indoor Championships. Equalled her season's best of 13.94 in Doha. Gosh, I think we're seeing another foul there. So interesting. I talked about the fact that this is a bit of a unique sort of setup for the athletes, but often enjoying street competition just because you have the crowd surrounding you and focusing on one thing. Oh, well, that's all right. I did say that you have to be careful not to read too hard at that particular angle. 14.22 then for Joya, moves up into 3rd place. Full list of athletes involved in the triple jump, with Velasco leading 14.51. This looks like the medal ceremony for the under-20 men's pole vault. Green vest there, the Hala Club, of course, hosting its own throws meeting, own field events meeting. That's very highly respected. Fantastic venue as well. So that's Nicholas Tietze, clearing 4.98 earlier for 3rd place. Same as Silas and Kriebelbauer of the Zweibrücken Club. Again, went to count back there. 4 failures versus 6 failures between the 2 of them. But out front, some 7 centimetres ahead of the rest, again with the meeting record. And this time breaking it or eclipsing it by 11 centimetres. 5 metres and 5 for Ben Duvenbeck of Olympia Dortmund. There we go. So this should be the winning attempt at 5 metres and 5, which preceded those 3 failures at 5.20. And interesting that he did climb that high once he was the only athlete left in the competition. I mentioned the Bayer Leverkusen vest. There it is. The red vest of Ruth Hildebrandt. Now into the 3rd round, and she, as ever, starting us off here. Seventh place she had been, but waiting to see what Derkash can do, who has 2 fouls so far. So Kudla positioned behind her. Fellow German Kudla. Season's best of 13.79 in Hamburg in January. 13.11 here. So nice leg extension as she propelled herself forward into that jump phase. But unfortunately a foul. So watching live coverage of the Tag der Überflieger meeting in Essen in Germany. We're concentrating here on the women's triple jump, and that's because every athlete getting their moment to jump, and yes, quite often we do see packed schedules, but it is nice to concentrate on just jump by jump, blow by blow, and to see how the story of the event unfolds. And that's why a lot of these meetings like this are quite popular with athletes for that reason. Men's triple jump coming up later, and men's pole vault and women's high jump as well, featuring the former world champion Eleanor Patterson of Australia. In one of the few competitions she's done so far this outdoor season, and the only one-day meeting like this that she's done outside of the Diamond League circuit. Masson of Belgium here. Yeah, seems to be a great competitor on the European circuit and tries to make the most of opportunities, because yes, sometimes it can be hard enough to get into competitions and then sorting your travel and taking a bit of a gamble sometimes on what's the weather going to be like, what's the setup going to be like. And it's one reason why when an athlete has done well somewhere before and they feel it's a meeting they trust, that they will return and hope to relive those memories, hope to emulate those successes. It's hard to tell who she's talking to, the officials or her coach, I think it is, but didn't look to be much in it. So now our German indoor champion Kira Wittmann. See, she's got a nice long leg span and able to use that to good effect. Plenty of space to spare there. Of course, one thing we see with Yulimar Rojas, the world record holder, is that great extension with the step phase. Just making it look so easy, but getting so much extra distance. You can see there's real potential there with Wittmann. Had a good start to the year, winning that national title, and then has got her best jump in 3 years and her first time at 14 meters outdoors. As we move on to Derkash and the Italians' third round jump. Derkash with those arms and knees up nice and high. But foot just over where it needed to be, unfortunately. Bit of deja vu for her then. 3 fouls. but certainly expecting that she will have no issue continuing in the competition, different to where it's an international championship. GM. A respectable 13.79, but we know she's capable of going well over 14 meters, the European bronze medalist. To actually clinch that medal came in the final round. And Nasheva, Bulgaria, had been in the medal positions throughout most of the competition with 14.35, but was just pipped by 8 centimeters at the end. So always the sign of a great competitor. Can pull that out with the final go, but also sometimes you have to consider that being able to start off with an excellent jump that really puts pressure on the opposition is a special skill as well. Allez, goes Ilonis Giam. Just a little bit short on that final phase there, and very slightly off balanced. Plenty of space to spare as well. With no improvement there, 13.56. As you can see there, good demonstration of how the wind is remaining fairly still at the moment. Of course, one reason for that is it's a pretty hot day out there, quite a humid day, so fairly dry heat. Much as anything. Petrova looking very determined here on this runway. 14.28 for second place so far, behind Davislady Velasco of Cuba. So a powerful driving run here and really good lift there. Look at that final phase. Petrova loves that. Enjoying herself out there competing, as we often see with these street comps. But there's that final phase there. Fantastic liftoff. And let's see what this measurement is then. 14.37. So, her best this year. 27 centimeters shy of her personal best now. Petrova, 33 years of age, having a brilliant season. Fourth at the World Championships in Beijing 2015, 3 times top 6 at the Europeans. I mentioned, yes, 5th in Zurich in 2014, and then more recently 6th in Berlin 2018, and then Rome 2 years ago. European indoor silver medalist 2015 in Prague, and then 7th in Apeldoorn last year. Joyo in the Puma vest. She's had her meeting record taken away. Let's see if she can respond, as Malaika Mahambo did in the final round to take it by 1 centimeter. We've seen that record be eclipsed and taken away. Now, okay, you might argue that athletes don't mind too much whether they hold meeting records here and there, but just gives you something extra to aim for, and also something extra to appreciate. When we talk a lot about success not being linear year on year, you've got to find different ways of measuring your success. You know, whether it's best season opener we've seen a lot of recently, my best season opener, or my personal best in maybe my second favourite event, or a consistent season where you're over 14 meters more times than ever before across the year. Joyo's 25 years of age now. Won the German title in Dresden last year. So this is the full standings at the moment, or certainly 1 to 8. Looks like there's some high jump warm-ups going on out there, as we just have a bit of a break in proceedings before the 4th round gets underway here at the Tag der Überflieger meeting, where we've been concentrating on the triple jump, being led at the moment by Davis Lady Velasco of Cuba with 14.51. She's 38 centimeters ahead of the rest. So back in action with Durkash, of course, waiting for a valid attempt to come through. 4th time now of asking. Just wait and see here. Yes. So whether that was things all coming together or just a little bit of caution exercise, Durkash has a clean, valid measurement. Waiting to see what it is. 14 meters and 3. So slots into 5th place, and that confirms, of course, as very much expected. Would have been a real shock if not, that all 9 athletes get all 6 attempts. Maybe if there were 12 athletes, it could have been different. Certainly have seen that even at these one-day meetings. Well, this is a 2-day meeting specifically, but you know what I mean. One-off meetings, non-championship meetings. Sarah Michelle Kudler, bronze medalist at the German indoors earlier this year. 13.86 personal best. Ruth Hildebrand 13:46. You can see there, improved by over a metre between those rounds, so that clearly a more representative distance of what she's capable of. 13:75 personal best from last summer. Trying to get a clap going from the audience. And psych herself up to be ready to go. You've got one athlete clapping alongside. Hildebrand then going to accelerate down this runway, going to try and get that foot placement spot on the board. Really nice extension there with the step. Steps away like an expectant parent, hoping for something special from their child. Let's see. Unfortunately, a foul there. Otherwise, looked like a good jump. GM. So her season's best, 14:09 in Forbach in France last month. So really trying to make the most of the opportunity here. You know, you've had this pause in proceedings between the third and the fourth round, and suddenly, you know, a few of these athletes realising that the chance is here. It's up for grabs to get everything they can from this competition. Ah, that was a shame there, because she had good speed acceleration. It was a very slight check of the run to make sure that foot placement was good. And I think there just upset her balance and put her off a bit. But still, it was looking promising. I think maybe she realised that it was looking like a flat jump and ducked out of proceedings. Now on to Kira Wittmann. Really interesting, the different running styles between the athletes. But she gets those knees up really high right at the end and goes close to 14 meters again. And spot on the board. We haven't seen that many times today. So Wittmann, who had that fantastic indoor season, hoping to add to it outdoors. 13:83 always goes to show, you know, it looks like the measuring is being done right on 14 meters, but yeah, of course, you just have to be aware that it will be a little bit less than that. Lona Masson, 14:07 so far. Someone had a great season last year. Went to the World Athletics Championships, of course. Still just 24 years of age. Belgian indoor champion. 13:77 was enough for gold there. Oh, another who looked to be having a decent jump, but perhaps, yeah, just ran out of momentum for that final phase. Joyeux, don't forget that quest to reclaim the meeting record. But yeah, a few athletes having a couple of issues on the runway just now. possibly coincidental, but also you're taking more risks later on in the competition once you've already established yourself and just seeing what else is possible out there. 14:22. Another solid mark for her and a big season's best. Petrova already with that European qualifying mark, and yeah, it's possible that it could be her last European Championships this year. Wouldn't hope she'd be on course to be selected, certainly, but let's see what she can do. Of course, we do also see athletes like Nelson Evora and others competing in the triple jump into their later years. Evora returning this year. Also, I was at a meeting where Tozinoke, a former Commonwealth champion, set a World Masters record recently. I'm finding that quite interesting. Two of the more explosive events on the body, triple jump and javelin, but they do often also see athletes competing in later years. I think part of the reason for that is just the sort of muscle memory, those who are good technically, very efficient, and yeah, just have that learned skill, are able to continue into later years if they've managed to avoid too many injuries as well, which is often an issue. But also perhaps some of the more complex technical events, you might consider that there are fewer specialists as well compared to potentially the long jump. And certainly the sprint events and even middle distance. And up. So this is how things look at the end of the fourth round. Velasco from Petrova, 14:37 that we saw previously, and then Joyo in third place. So decent depth in terms of the number of athletes over 14 meters, including those season's bests. You're watching live coverage of the Tag der Überflieger meeting in Essen in Germany, a World Athletics Continental Tour silver meeting. Focusing here, as you can see, on the women's triple jump. It's Daria Derkash of Italy in the fifth round then. Accelerating hard down this runway, and a good lift there right at the end of this jump. Just wondering if that's another foul or not. Oh, that's extremely close for Derkash. Just having a look then, I think it may well be. Yes, unfortunate for her. She's just having a look here because it's the second one that's been very, very close. Derkash very good at making the major finals, and yeah, I mentioned she was top 8 in Paris at the Olympic Games, also at the World Championships in Budapest, but needs to make it to the competition like the European Championships coming up in Birmingham this summer in the first place in order to have a chance of making it through to the final, but you often do get athletes like that. Just good at making that qualification count. Hildebrand, yes, foot may have been over there again. She's carrying that strapping on the knee, and just helpfully realised that you can see that on the adjacent to the sandpit, you've got the board there which comes up green or red depending on whether it's a foul. So Hildebrand, 13.83, a personal best, improving by 8 centimetres on what she did in Ulm in Germany last summer. It's good to see her finally getting it right, because you feel like she's been knocking on the door of doing that through this competition, which does have really good depth in terms of the athletes capable of over 14 metres. So for her, it's a chance to be in a strong field. I know they're not going head to head on the same way they would do on the track, but still to be pushed by seeing some good jumps. Xiam, other who hasn't quite found her rhythm just yet, but does get the green indicator there. Oh, she had so much room to spare. $13.97 in 7th place. So still capable of quite a bit more. But time running out in this particular competition. Kira Wittmann. Awaiting her moment on the runway, the 25-year-old German. And now launches into this controlled sprint. Didn't get those knees up nice and high like the previous jump there. But it's all about that transfer of energy as well that we so often talk about in field events. The fact that speed is underestimated but is so vitally important in the subsequent phases. So Ilona Maassen next to go for Belgium. Won her national title 4 times. Two valid jumps, 13.93, sorry, and then 14.07. Competed at the World Championships last year, didn't make it through to the final. 10th in her pool, same in fact as Caroline Joyot. $13.79 there, so yeah, we knew that she would be capable of more. And has she been over 14 metres? Might have been a more representative showing, but still it was a very, very strong World Championship field, as you'd expect, with the likes of Rojas, Thea Lafond, Shanika Ricketts. Yeah, the others here, just having a look along this, GM, Derkash, also involved at last year's World Championships, along with Petrova. But quite difficult for some of those Europeans to make it out of qualifying. Maassen also went to the University Games, where she was 4th. I think I saw that the pole vault bed was bearing the name of the Rhine-Ruhr World University Games from last year, so obviously using that equipment.
Wenn du das hier so siehst, diese Tage der Überflieger, die würden ja eigentlich nur für dich geschaffen. Wie fühlt sich das denn an, das jetzt hier in so einem Rahmen zu sehen?
Das ist eine super Sache. Also wenn ich mir vorstelle, vor 10 Jahren auf der BSA in Überruhr, was sich daraus entwickelt hat, das ist wirklich klasse.
Ja, und wenn man jetzt nochmal überlegt, es springen ja immer auch noch die Lokalmatadoren hier in der Weltklasse mit. Wie geil ist das zu sehen, dass die Leute hier kommen und ihr auch immer noch in der Weltspitze mit dabei seid?
Ja, das ist super. Das war für mich auch mal toll, in Essen zu starten. Ist eine klasse Sache hier auch für die Athleten selbst aus Essen, den Sport auch voranzutreiben und auch mal zu zeigen, dass es neben dem Fußball auch noch andere Sportarten in Essen gibt.
Ja, und jetzt hast du gerade schon, ja genau, erstmal eine Runde Applaus hierfür. Und jetzt hast du eben schon gesagt, also du bist hier ja noch nie gesprungen, du kennst ja die Anlage gar nicht. Gestern ist ein bestimmter Matteo Pilko hier seinen letzten Sprung in Jeans gesprungen. Hast du Bock, mal einmal kurz hier ein bisschen die Einstiegshöhe von den Mädels zu springen?
Ich kann es versuchen.
Ja, das sagen wir nochmal. Auf geht's, Remo. Hier, mach nochmal die Hochsprunganlage fit. Tim, wie gut ist das?
Ja, aber ey. Nach 5 Jahren, mal schauen, was er noch kann.
Nächstes Jahr wieder dann mit auf der Elite-Liste.
Er kann es noch. 10 Jahre Tage der Überflieger. Remo, schön, dass du wieder da bist und mit uns gemeinsam diesen Tag genießt. Danke.
Ja, Remo Kalesi, der deutsche U20-Meister 2016 für Essen. Und er hat auch die 10. Auflage nochmal genutzt, hier auch auf dem Kennedy-Platz dabei zu sein.
Ja, ganz toll. Super Anlage. Wie sieht aus? Und natürlich die Atmosphäre, das Publikum, was da sehr wichtig ist. Athleten, viele Athleten. Ja, ich freue mich drauf.
Jetzt haben wir die Expertin hier nochmal noch kurz einen Tipp. Nach letztes dabei haben wir uns dabei den Meeting-Rekord übereinigt, das 97 aus dem letzten Jahr von ihm kommt. Was meinst du? Schaffen wir es im Jubiläum oder bleibt es stehen?
Ja, schwierig zu sagen. War ja schon echt ein gutes Jahr. Vielleicht. Also ich drücke die Daumen. Unsere Athleten, alle Athleten, die heute hier teilnehmen. Ja, vielleicht mit ordentlich viel Anspruch, Engagement.
Das hier so ist, hier eine Ecke.
Heike Henkel there, the Olympic champion in the high jump in 1992, world champion 1991, being interviewed by the German broadcast ahead of the introduction of the senior women's high jumpers taking part here, which include 4 Germans and also some great talent from across the world. South Africa, Estonia, Cyprus and Sweden and Australia. There's Dorothea Guntert, 19-year-old Johanna Göring, European under-18 silver medalist. Next, Fatoumata Bale of Guinea, winner of the last edition of the Francophone Games. Joanna Herrmann, European Under-23 bronze medalist 3 years ago. Carmen Bruce of Estonia rose to the international stage at the age of 17 in 2022, where she made the world final. Bianca Stichling, 3 times a German champion. Christy Snyman, African champion recently in Ghana last month in Accra. Solène Giquel, the French woman, 11 times national champion. Here comes I think that's England Nielsen. The graphics just a little bit fast there. The Swede, European indoor medalist last year, and here is well, we'll take you through all the athletes eventually once they jump, but Elena Kulichenko, Christina Honsel also coming out. Yes, indeed. The graphics are just one behind at the moment, so this is Christina Honsel. And just one athlete left to be introduced. And here she comes, Eleanor Patterson of Australia, the 2022 world champion in Eugene that year. Going back 12 years, the Commonwealth champion. There's an interesting spectator there who has a towel over their head and is using her sunglasses to hold it in place so it doesn't blow away. It's a hot day out there, as I said, 0 chance of rain, 29-degree heat at least. So yeah, decent conditions, possibly a little bit too hot for some of the athletes. Caroline Joyot, her 5th round effort. I think there's been a bit of a pause in the competition between last time we saw her now, unless they're showing footage from a short while ago. Certainly the live results suggesting that this is the action as it currently stands, with 3 jumps left of this penultimate round. Velasco is actually passed with the last 2 attempts, so that's why we haven't seen her in a little while, leading there with that meeting record of 14:51 by just 14 centimeters though from Gabriela Petrova. 13:87, no improvement for the German. Gabriela Petrova. Well, whatever happens, I think 14:37 is a very strong result for her to come away with. And again, different running style, more of a crisscross action. And got up nice and high once again, but also came down a little sharply there. Goodness me, that is extraordinary amount of space back from the board. Petrova of Bulgaria. Looking to close on the leader, but given the red flag. Looks like she's just trying to stay cool out there. Well, it doesn't look like she's about to jump, and she would be next in the order. I wonder if that's the sun cream spray, trying to keep her warm, trying to keep her protected from the sun, sorry. Got heat on the brain, clearly. Velasco leading the way with that meeting record, 14:51 by 14 centimeters. 9 athletes in total in the competition. Sarah Michelle Kudla in 9th place as things stand. So the crowd getting going here, applauding this last attempt for Kira Wittmann. So interesting that she was next in the order. I wonder whether Jim and Hildebrand passing with the last attempt, because Wittmann was ahead of them at the end of the 3rd round. Finishes though with 13.86. All credit to her on a day where a lot of people have fouled. She's got a clean series of 6 attempts. Not easy feat. Certainly relative to what we've seen from her competitors. Derkash in 5th place. Yeah, so just the one valid jump of 14.03 for her is at least the first time that she's gone over 14 meters this year, so can take some heart from that. Just 6 centimeters shy of Masson and 19 centimeters off the podium positions as things stand. So the Italian with a powerful run here gets those arms up high to give us some leverage. Try and get every centimetre in the sandpit. Well back from the board. Yet again we've said that. Been hard for athletes to find that discipline with the run up. 14.39 though. What a way to finish. For Derkash, goes from 5th into 2nd place. And so comes away from today with a European qualifying mark. So despite some early struggles, it's competition that was absolutely worthwhile coming to. Very few athletes in Europe have jumped further than that this year. Anna Pelletieri-Cambore qualifies by being the defending European champion as well. Filipic and Ismaz Spanovic have all jumped further as well. Masson, who've been watching through the competition in this purple vest, the Belgian. Her final jump, of course, she's been pushed down a place into fourth, but she also finishes with her best of the day, 14:25. Moves her ahead of Joyot. So final chance now for Caroline Joyot to reclaim that position and possibly the meeting record as well. Yeah, fighting hard through that step phase to continue that momentum into that jump. Looks solid if unspectacular. Better placement on the board this time though. Let's have a look from this angle, this side. Nicely planted feet there, but doesn't improve, only 3 centimeters off what's she done before. 14:19 to end the Germans' competition here. So what can Gabriela Petrova do on this runway now? One last chance to improve. And looks to be well over 14 meters again. So Petrova, though, it is a foul. But can be very, very pleased with her day's work. 14:29. And 14:37. Now Davislady Velasco, so she's passed her way through the competition. Can't be exactly sure the reasons for that. Could be carrying a bit of an injury or is aware that it's very hot out there. Either way, maybe she didn't think she could be beaten, but there is a very small gap between the two athletes at the top. It's now Derkash in second place, 14:39, by virtue of last round improvement. Davislady Velasco winning the competition with the meeting record here, adding 6 centimeters to that at least. We're just waiting for the measurement for this final jump though. So a really impressive performance from Davislady Velasco, and as I was saying, follows a big breakthrough recently. That's because she went over 15 meters, 15:13. Personal best until Doha Diamond League had been 14:85, and she has improved overall this year by 41 centimeters from 14:72 to 15:13. And this confirms the final standings from all the athletes involved in the triple jump.
76. Und das ist die 7. Engler Nilsson.
Well, our next focus in this competition will be the men's pole vault. As you can see, decent representation from the United States as well as all round Europe. I see a young Swedish talent hoping, of course, to follow in the footsteps, if he can, of Mono Duplantis. Very much easier said than done.
Tag der Überflieger laufen, war bis heute der Meeting-Rekordhalter in der Jugend. Bronzemedaillengewinner bei den U20-Europameisterschaften. Wir sagen willkommen aus Belgien,
Filchens was the holder of the under-20 national record until this year's competition taken away. He's just 20 years of age, European under-20 bronze medalist last year. Marek Metzger, another German. Here, got a personal best of 550. Oliver Sandberg of Sweden won his national indoor title this year. Carson Cody Waters of the United States done lots of competitions in Europe this season, and particularly last season as well. Just a few in America, and mostly all around Europe. Ukraine best Alexander Onufriev has won his last 4 national titles. Pedro Boaro, 5 times Portuguese champion, including in indoors and outs. Holland Trey Oates, 5th of the USA indoors early this year. Walters Kreis coming through there, Latvian national record holder, and no Bokanda Lita Bala, the German with the personal best of 590, European silver medalist 4 years ago in Munich. And Austin Miller, perhaps a bit of a surprise. Champion of the USA last summer, beating the likes of Sam Kendricks, Cole Walsh, Casey Lightfoot, Matt Ludwig. So that's our complement of male pole vaulters introduced then. Competition getting underway shortly, 10 in total.
Hintergrund so vielleicht.
Ja, es war wieder eines der Highlights heute. Wir wussten, dass der Frauen-Dreisprung wahnsinnig wird. Wir wussten nur nicht, wie gut. Ich glaube, mein Spanisch ist fast ein bisschen besser als ihr Deutsch. Also wir versuchen es einfach mal. Davis Lady, Meeting Record. ¿Estás feliz?
Sí, estoy muy feliz, agradecida con todos ustedes.
Por la oportunidad, vengo de hacer mi marca personal en la Liga del Diamante de 15-13 y es para mí un placer después de esa marca volver a competir aquí con ustedes y disfrutar con el público y con todo. Muchas gracias.
Wir sagen muchas gracias, felicidades. Sie haben sich sehr gefreut, hier zu sein. Am Freitag noch bei der Diamond League ist 15-13 gesprungen und hat sich hier wahnsinnig mit dem Publikum gefreut und sagt nochmal vielen Dank Essen und wir sagen vielen Dank Davis Lady zum Meeting Record.
So, 50, 81. Das war in dem Jahr das. Bianca Stichling.
Bianca Stickling we're seeing here with that failure at 181 after that clearance at 176. This women's high jump competition. So triple jump concluding just before. Davis Lady Velasco meeting record 14:51 came in the very first round. Men's pole vault now underway as well. And sailing over and clear here. So bar at 5:30 I believe, but you can see it looked like it was about to come off there with the feet. Quite a few athletes yet to enter this competition. Anna Frier and Metzger coming in initially. Here is the latter at 5:15 in fact, so we're just seeing what happened a moment ago. Solène Giquel. So she brings the bar down a little early in this competition, bit of a surprise. Been so consistent over the years as a winner of the French Championships. Clearing 192 this year, as she also did 3 years ago. A personal best that she's equalled on a number of occasions. So Joanna Herrmann, Fatoumata Bale and Dorothea Guntert clear at 181. Engla Nilsson of Sweden Controlled acceleration and launches herself over that bar.
Die vierte Spielerin jetzt über 1,81 im ersten Versuch.
Letztes Jahr hier gewonnen, jetzt bei den Männern mit dabei nach einer grandiosen Steigerung auf 5,63.
So in the Belgian vest here, yellow Filchens. Bar comes down quite easily there. So Filchens, first time failure at his first vault of the competition. 5:30 we're at. European Under-20 bronze medalist in Tampere last summer. 5:47, his recent personal best for the 20-year-old. Over to the high jump, and Honsel. Saw her had a great competition at the jumps meeting in Cottbus last year during the indoor season. And another one with great presentation and excitement around the athletes, trying to capitalise on that one moment where only one piece of action is happening at a time. So she is over, as well as Johanna Göring here.
So, Ambrose, die ist mit dem zweiten Versuch, 1,81.
Carmen Bruce, the Estonian, second attempt, 181. Well, Carmen Bruce, so fantastic as a 17-year-old and trying to get back to her best. I think she's had some injuries in between then and now. Over that for a season's best. Metzger in the pole vault, German indoor silver medalist. It's interesting, there's a bit of horizontal travel across there, but he still manages to keep some height to make it over the bar. I believe this is Stichling at 181, so proving a difficult height for some of these athletes, but Bruce is clear. Snyman and Gikel will also shortly have second attempts at this height.
Und wir sind weiter bei 1,81, zweite Versuche im Hochsprung. Und die nächste ist die südafrikanische Meisterin, die Afrikameisterin.
Snyman, who's been based at Loughborough University in the UK, winning the British University's title indoors and out this year, equaling the championship record of 187 indoors. They'll bring the bar down at 181 here. Yes, it's a record that had been, well, still jointly held with Isabel Pooley now, a former British international high jumper, former British record holder indeed, since Morgan Lake has obviously taken it on in more recent times.
So, im Hochsprung sind 8 Spielerinnen drüber über die 1,81. Entschuldigung, Gikel, jetzt die letzte, zweite Versuch. Und damit sind es
So good result there for Gikel. Well, next going up to 185.
Eleanor Patterson, die Weltmeisterin, steigt bei der übernächsten Höhe.
So watching here, Cody Carson Walters of the United States of America. See Barr coming off with his shin there, it looked like. First time failure 5:30, so he's just entered the competition as well. Very much staggered in the way that some are entering, starting off with 5:15 and going up to 5:50 for Candelita Byra, sorry, and Walters Kreis. Stickling over at 181, third attempt there. Let's have another look here. Yeah, takes away at just the right, takes off at just the right distance away from the bar and manages to keep her feet away from it. And Snyman, the South African this is, also goes clear. Yeah, she's consistently been over this season, so I would have hoped to do that. He's sharing a coach with Carmen Bruce. They had a good battle, in fact, at that British University's indoors together, Snyman and Bruce. Olin Trey Oates, another one of the American contingent, the 31-year-old who was 5th at the American Indoor Championships this year. Personal best goes back to 2024 in Albuquerque, New Mexico, 5:82. It just shows you the incredible depth of talent that the US has, that someone at that sort of level, 5:81 this year as well, would be only 5th at their championships. Hopefully a little later on see Austin Miller, who made the World Championships last year. Oh, here he is, yeah, a bit of a story because he beat Sam Kendricks at the trials, as well as Matt Ludwig, Cole Walsh, Casey Lightfoot. A lot of these names we've seen time and time again making major championships, so that took him to the World Champs in Tokyo. 5:92, his personal best that remains to that day, the height at which got him the American title. 4 athletes behind him, all 20 centimeters back, including Sam Kendricks, the former world champion. So Austin Miller climbs up, but just a bit of a stutter in that climb, trying to get those feet in the air up to the 12 o'clock position. She almost achieved, but just kind of came in steaming hot there. Immense precision that's needed. And again, similar to his compatriot, it is his first vault of this competition, and you have to feel that there obviously has been a chance to warm up, but there is some adjustment to be made in competition given the surface and the circumstances, rather unique circumstances, even though most of these athletes would have done sort of city meet, street meet before, similar to this. Yellow Filchens. One of a group of athletes who will see having second attempts at 5 meters and 30. Filchens choosing to go now. building up the speed, planting the pole, drives up high, plenty of height to spare. Wow, look at that. Just shows you he's capable of going much higher. Personal best 547. So only 17 centimeters higher than this, but yeah, you sense that he can continue to improve. Leo Filchens. Up to Waters. Goes running straight through there, unfortunately. So we switch over to high jump, and Bale, the Guinean, climbs up nice and high. Really smooth technique there, and very precise over that bar. So clearance at 185. Maintains her perfect record. Dorothea Guntert also has one of those with 4 clearances so far. She was one of the first to enter the competition, as we see a failure there for Joanna Herrmann of the Teutel Riesenbeck club. Not the tallest athlete there, reaching a little bit for that one. Had good height, I think just a little bit of indiscipline there, just bar coming off with her hand. Rather unfortunate. On to Oates in the vault. Much better that time. Oates clearly having his porridge for breakfast this morning. So he becomes the 5th athlete I make it over 5:30. Miller hoping to join. Onufriev, Sonbev, Metzger, Filchens, and Oates just now. So the champion of the USA Outdoors last year in Eugene made it to the World Championships in Tokyo. Let's see what he can do this year. Also climbs up high, but took the bar off early with his feet, I think. Maybe we'll get a closer look just shortly. 2 failures at 5:30 now, same as Waters, unfortunately, there, who stepped onto the bed. Had he been able to stop in time before it, they would have been able to continue so long as there was time on the clock. Stickling, 185. Yeah, we'll need a bit of courage with the later attempts again. By Leverkusen athlete in the red vest. Oh, not too much in it there.
Und weiter geht's bei 85. Mit dem ersten Versuch bei der Afrikameisterschaft bei Christy
Snyman of South Africa in the Adidas kit here today. Oh, there wasn't too much in that. 185. So, I spent some time studying at Loughborough University in the United Kingdom. Waters, 3rd attempt, 5:30, and that is much better. Well, he sort of swung back in, leaving the heart in the mouth a little bit, but otherwise had bags of height. European senior medal, because just the standard really is that the best high jumpers in the world at the moment have so often been European, including Jaroslava Mahuchik and Angelina Topic, the two athletes who were ahead of her in Apeldoorn last March. And just behind them you've got a group that are not quite jumping 2 meters, but are consistently over 190, and Kulichenko Cyprus is among those. Approaching from this other side, the left, brings the bar down. Building up speed is Austin Miller. Third attempt, no, got that all wrong with that climb phase again.
Und wir sind im Hochsprung 1,85. Erster Versuch für Christina Honsel.
Yeah, just not fully in control there, unfortunately. But yeah, the 32-year-old, be great to see him at another major championship after that fantastic season last year. Honsel, oh, started off with loads of height there. Let's have a look at this trajectory. I think initially gave it a brush with her back, and then again shortly afterwards. Johanna Göring, so she was also behind Angelina Topic when she got her European Under-18 silver medal. So Göring also from this left-hand side, that's better. So does what her more experienced compatriot Honsel was unable to do. Eleanor Patterson, by the way, the former world champion, also in this competition but yet to enter, will do so, it looks like, at the next height of 189. And after that we'll go up by smaller increments. 192, 194, then 2 centimeters only after that. Attempt clearance, the last height 10 centimeters lower than this. Yeah, still looks very, very good, does the young Belgian, given that he's 7 centimeters shy of his personal best with that clearance. More on the pole vault shortly. Stifling. Oh, and that is one of her best clearances so far to date. Clearly has found something special in this competition after some stutters earlier on. Height all the way through between her and the bar, but very, very close with her feet there. Over at 185 for a season's best. So Snyman with this curved acceleration. Oh, and another there, just like Hansel, where it looked like she'd done enough. Well, clearly expressing her frustration there. Apologies for anyone offended, but yes, I think fairly natural to see that from athletes. Expressing their dissatisfaction. Marek Metzger.
England ist an. Zweiter Versuch für die Schweden. Schweden im Hochsprung.
So England Nielsen then hoping to join 5 athletes who are clear at 185. This her second attempt now. First one was disappointing, second one gives the bar a right rattle, but somehow it does just stay up. Wow, she's very lucky there.
Elena Kulitschenko. Zweiter Versuch 1,85. Zum zweiten Mal ran muss jetzt auch Christina Honsel, was die 1,85 angeht. Im Hochsprung. Jetzt hält wir hier da drüber. Unsere deutschen Meisterin vom TV Wattenscheid. Christina Honsel.
So good support here, as you'd expect, for Christina Honsel, the German. Another, though, with one failure at 185 so far. And that is better. Of course, she was very unlucky with the first go. So shortly we will have third attempts at 185. 6 athletes now clear at this height. And over goes Joanna Herrmann, who did have a perfect record up until this height. Let's have another look here. Herrmann, not the tallest of the jumpers, but fantastic leap there and just about keeps her feet away. Herrmann, European under-20 and European under-23 bronze medalist. Carmen Bruce, though, sadly out of the competition. Bruce, who still holds that world under-18 best with the 196 she achieved 4 years ago now. Yeah, she did the quadruple. World under-20s, European under-18s and European seniors all in the same year. Incredible. Didn't make the medals for the under-18s, but made the world final. Pedro Boaro here in the pole vault.
1,85, dritter Versuch.
Snyman, last chance to stay in the competition. Unfortunately, Bruce and Snyman, the two studying in the UK, go out of the high jump. Yeah, so two very strong athletes, but unfortunately the first two to exit here. Kulichenko, personal best of 197, struggling here at 185. I don't know why that is. I suppose it may be a slightly different surface from what the athletes are used to, but similar sort of surroundings and the crowd around them. But Kulichenko up onto that bed, and she can't reset. And try again. So she'll be out the competition as well. So Marek Metzger, second attempt, 5:40 now. Comes off early there with his feet. Men's triple jump be getting underway soon. For now we focus on high jump. Dorothea Ganter, goodness me, how did that bar not come down? Well, Ganter's been quietly having a strong competition and trying to maintain a perfect record here, which she has done at 189. But that looked for all the world like it was going to come crashing down. Ganter is also a PB by 2 centimeters for the 19-year-old.
So, also vorher müssen wir irgendwie nochmal checken, geben. Das heißt, wir sind auswissen. Jetzt volle Konzentration auf Johanna Göring. 1,89, erster Versuch.
So this is really good depth to still have, what, 9 jumpers left attempting 189. I wonder whether this height, though, will see a bigger rate of attrition. Ganter clearing. 5 consecutive first-time clearances for the 19-year-old, but of course she came in earlier, knowing that she was one of the lower-ranked athletes, and of course, though, when you've only had first-time clearances, then may not be as tired as some of the others, but still, fatigue can be a factor later in the competition. But 5 jumps so far, 5 clearances, really, really clean technique, and just makes it look effortless, really. So that's a personal best for her. 189. So she turns 20 this year, so isn't eligible for the World Under-20 Championships in Eugene, unfortunately.
Gefallen ist, dass sie auf dem Kameragestell liegen geblieben ist. Das heißt, bei einem normalen Wettkampf wäre die Latte runtergefallen. Entsprechend ist der Versuch von Dorothea Landtag ungültig zu werden. Das zur Erklärung und für euch ein Job, sie gleich im nächsten Versuch darüber zu bringen. Vielen Dank.
Fatoumata Bali.
Erster Versuch 1,89.
Her first attempt at 189. So another athlete maintains a perfect record in this competition. Just the two of them for whom that's the case. And Bali entering at 181, following Guntert's introduction at 171 though. Next height would equal Bali's national record of 192. First, Metzger in the pole vault. So last time we were with it, it was 540 he was attempting.
Da hat's heute nicht sein wollen. Wir sagen trotzdem Danke für einen
Just having a couple of difficulties there. He's out of the competition, I'm afraid, at 540. Still four athletes actually passing at this height in the pole vault. Hermann, bit of a stutter there with the run-up, but I thought she'd done enough. So let's have another look. Just checks there. Takes off a little bit early. A little bit too far away from that bar. See, she's stretching to try and hold her form to get over. Onufriev now. Nicely over at 540. Second time of asking. Computer a little slow to update. May in fact be third go at 540. Bianca Stickling. Fantastic clearance at 185 a few moments ago. Can't replicate it at this height, 4 centimeters more. 190 her personal best, so this would be for a season's best and just 1 centimeter off her lifetime best. 3 times German champion, including indoors last year. Achieved that personal best twice. 190 in Germany in 2022 and also in the course of the last season. Solène Giquel. 192. She's jumped 3 times in her career, in fact. And that's the next height that she'll attempt. As you can see, taking off closer to the bar. Compared Hermann. Screen trajectory there. Second consecutive first time clearance for the French woman. Engla Nielsen approaching from this right side. Not climbing up high enough, I'm afraid. So the European indoor medalist under just a little bit of pressure. And she perhaps takes off too close to the bar there. Was almost perpendicular to it.
Mit dem ersten Versuch bei 1,89. Und das ist Christina Honsel. Und los geht's.
So Christina Honsel from this left-hand side, and a great clearance once again at 189. So the two German athletes and Bali of Guinea now continuing and going up to 192. Who else can join?
Und die kommt jetzt zum ersten Mal, die Weltmeisterin von 2022 aus Australien, Eleanor Patterson. Erster Versuch.
First appearance in the competition then for Eleanor Patterson, who's been waiting to come in as the athletes have been jumping 171 and higher. 30-year-old now, Olympic bronze medalist jointly with Irina Herashenko, world champion in Eugene, as I mentioned, Commonwealth Games winner in Glasgow 12 years ago, and she is over. Patterson at 189. A strong favourite here. Personal best of 2 meters and 2. This year she's cleared 197. That came indoors in the Czech Republic or Czechia. Line up here for men's triple jump. Headlined by some emerging talents there like Gabrielle Wallermark, Nakatia, a previous European age group champion. It's on the other page, yes. There we go, Melvin Rafa and Yasser Mohammed Triki, who over the last few years has had a habit of being a good championship performer, twice a world indoor finalist, and another athlete who got a personal best at the Doha Diamond League.
Und wir begrüßen den ersten Athleten in diesem Wettkampf, den vierten der deutschen Meisterschaft des letzten Jahres mit einer persönlichen Bestzeit von 15,73 Meter. Für Continental
Introducing our male triple jumpers, starting off with Milan Klosowski, the 20-year-old, 1573 at best. On to Alex Fabry, 4th at the European Under-23 Championships in Bergen in Norway last year. Another German is Maximilian Skarke, also just 20 years of age. He was the bronze medalist at the German Indoor Championships in February. Gor Hovakimian of Armenia. I remember this man itching to jump and get out there to start off the day at the European Athletics Team Championships in Maribor last year. Very keen to get going and represent his country there. He's another who's improved this year to 1666. Mohammed Amin Al-Salami representing Germany here. Syrian athlete here competing in Germany. He also holds his national Syrian long jump record of 788. Doesn't hold the Syrian triple jump record though. Gabrielle Wallermark, the Swede. Nakatia of Turkey, World University silver medalist back in 2023. Christian Napoles, bronze medalist at the World Championships in Budapest 3 years ago. That's where he set his personal best of 1740. Melvin Raffin, 27-year-old from France, 7 times French champion, including indoors this year. Yasser Mohammed Tricky, twice a world indoor medalist. 1767, his national record, the Algerian. 5th at the Olympic Games in Tokyo as well. So he comes in as the favourite, you might think, but yeah, there's about 38 centimetres, I make it, between Raffin and Tricky on season's bests. And less than that, 15 centimetres on personal best, so we'll wait and see. Meanwhile, all this time the high jump and pole vault have continued, and 5 consecutive first-time clearances for Gantert. Let's see what she can do here. Absolutely fantastic from Dorothea Gantert, just unstoppable, it seems, in the high jump. So she's over at 189. We'll see how others do at that height in a moment. Filchens in the pole vault then. So he's gone clear at 550. Still not everyone we've seen so far, so a few passes as well. Kreis and Lita Beira should enter here. That's the high jump. Hermann's second attempt, 189, it looks like. No, I don't think that was as close as the first. Kulichenko, Bruce and Snyman all out of the competition already. So 9 athletes left jumping here. And I believe 5 have cleared at 189. Bali, Patterson, Honsel, Jikel, Gantert.
So, und der Lauf ist wieder auf beim Hochsprung. Jetzt zweiter Versuch für Bianca Stichling.
Sam Baria. Young Swede there in the pole vault. Over to Stichling in the high jump now. Triple jump soon to get underway. I'm sure we will see more of that now as we get to some of the heights that athletes haven't cleared before, relying on personal bests.
Im Dreisprung war das der erste Versuch des Italieners Alex Fabri. Ganz kurzfristig vor 3 Tagen hier ins Feld gerutscht.
Waters underneath the bar, unfortunately.
Und dann nochmal für England Nilsson im Hochsprung. Zweiter Versuch 1,89.
Engler Nielsen. Not masses of acceleration there, and then just building up speed shortly before. Just a moment for reassess with the coaching here to watch this back. Burst of acceleration right before the bar and brought it off early. So 2 failures now at 189. Personal best 194. That was set in Geneva last year. This would be a season's best for Göring.
Da helfen wir jetzt.
That's cleared 192 in the past.
Der deutschen U23-Meisterin über die Höhe drüber. Ihre letzte Chance.
Göring, another athlete who's pretty close there.
Johanna Göring.
Salutes the supporting crowd. You can see, yeah, just a couple of brushes and that bar straight off.
Tryout schiebt sich hier ab über die 55. 3 Athleten bisher drüber, aber jetzt schnell wieder zurück zum Hochsprung.
So this is Oates at 550. Quite a lot of passing going on the pole vault, as we quite often see. So athletes happy to go up by 20 centimeters each time. Oates from 530 to 550 now. He's over. So that, though, unfortunately, another failure there for Johanna Hermann. So Göring and Hermann out of the competition now. And Stickling and Nielsen showing us still having one attempt left. So 188 twice this year. What should she do at 189, 1 centimetre higher? I think that was the closest attempt, in fact, yeah, but have been consistent during the indoor season. 188 came in Cottbus in January, Dortmund in February. Three-time German champion bows out here. Time a nice clearance for a German. Looks like Bokanda Lita Beira. First time we've seen him, and he enters here and clears at 550. Pedro Boira's pass at this height gone straight up to 560, and Metzger and Miller out of the competition. Everyone else still going out of the 10 that entered. Engler Nielsen almost falling off the pole vault. The high jump bed, I should say, entirely there. So she's also out with 3 failures. So Nielsen, Göring, Stickling and Hermann having some trouble at this height. And it means that now we just have the 5 athletes left. Three of the 5 athletes left in the high jump will, at the very least, be attempting to equal a personal best. If they can clear 192, it will be quite impressive. So let's see how that progresses. Nikati of Turkey. First bit of triple action we've seen, triple jump. Unfortunately, we saw a lot of that in the women's event. Be just over the line there.
So, und wir steigen ein in die nächste Sprunghöhe, 1,92 im Hochsprung.
Christian Napoles, world bronze medalist 3 years ago. Let's see what he can do in the opening round. A 27-year-old Cuban, been in the world top 5 3 times at those World Championships. Other times being London 2017 and then Doha 2019, 4th and 5th respectively. Season's best, 1678 in Montgeron in France just a couple of days ago. So here comes the Cuban then, driving hard down this runway in the triple jump, working those arms and legs hard and trying to build momentum. Trying to keep the energy fluid throughout. Transfer it between hop, step and jump. Yeah, solid on the board. 16:26, a solid way to start off. Bale in the high jump, this to equal her national record, and she has done it. Wow, made that look easy. And a shriek of delight for Fatoumata Bale, the Francophone Games winner, African bronze medalist in 2024. Space between her and the bar throughout. Just at the end though, bit of nerves while watching that to see if heels would just tap it off, as we've seen many times before. But it's a national record that was set in France in January that she has equalled here. Melvin Raffin next to go in the men's triple jump. A Frenchman with a personal best of 17:52. That came last year in Talence. Oh, goodness me, look at that. Foot way, way over.
Den richtigen Punkt finden. Schauen wir rüber zum Hochsprung. Und auf Solène Giquel, die Französin. 1,92 auch für sie jetzt. Der erste Versuch.
Solène Giquel, the French woman, unable to execute that attempt. But of course, yes, she's done this a couple of times in her career, including the French Championships indoors this year. Yasser Mohamed Tricky, the 29-year-old from Algeria. Personal best in Doha on Friday, 17:67. It was just 4 centimeters there between the top 3, the final 3. An athlete who's got a medal already this year from the major championship, World Indoors in Turin. He was the bronze medalist with 17:30. Winner of the gold, of course, Italy's Andy Diaz Hernandez.
Meetingrekord direkt im ersten Versuch für Yasser Tricky.
17:14, a meeting record in the first round here. That is super impressive, and it's his own meeting record that's been broken by 11 centimeters. Back to the high jump, and Honsel 192 now, first attempt. So this is an athlete capable of 2 meters, but again, yeah, struggling at this height. But we do see this so often. You go past 190 and suddenly the competition ramps up quite significantly. Particularly once the height is quite a bit taller than the athletes are. Honsel is 1.80 m in terms of her own height. Clean technique there in the triple jump, so we'll remain in in the first round, of course.
So, 1,92, jetzt auch für Eleanor.
There's another foul. So Tricky leading the way, meeting record 17-14. He's the only athlete over 17. That was Milan Klasowski in the second round.
Jetzt über 1,92.
4 yet to get the valid measurement in, including Hovigimian. Eleanor Patterson, favourite in this competition here. The bar comes down for her. She's quite often there or thereabouts in the fight over the major medals at the big championships, but so hard to be consistent when you've got the likes of the aforementioned Yaroslava Mahuchik and others around all of the time, sticking to you like a rash. Waters. So he's managed to get a clearance here. I believe the bar's still at 5.50 now.
Jetzt Alex Fabri im Breitsport. Und der zweite Versuch bei 1,92 jetzt für
So everyone cleared at the first time of asking. Lita Barra, Kreis, Oates, Filchins and Anufriev. Sandberg, the only other athlete to have struggled so far. Boiro has passed. Dorothea Ganter, what a fantastic competition that she is having. Can she get over this height for the first time? First time any higher than 190 in fact, but it's interesting the way that high jump and pole vault go. Sometimes you're 10 centimetres below your personal best and you feel that that's comfortable. And then the next height is your personal best. Sometimes you're at the mercy of others and the increments that the height is going up by. So 3 centimetres at the moment. Sandberg, third attempt, trying to stay in the competition. Thought he had that. Looks like he does at the moment. Oh, just a little bit out of control there, but is rather unlucky, I think. She fairly is 5 meters and 50. 6 athletes got a valid jump in the first round of the triple jump.
im Dreisprung. Und zweiter Versuch im Hochsprung für Solène Gicquel. Kann hier ihre persönliche Bestleistung einstellen, die Französin Solène Gicquel. Jetzt geht's los.
Solène Gicquel finding this height a little tough. Oh, is she signalling there that would be her last go? Well, there wasn't much in it. Either way, one more attempt would be available to her should she want it. She knows this is a bar at 92. High jumpers often don't say it in full, they just say 92, 94 because probably they're discussing it so often that they need the shorthand. Yeah, a bar at 92 if you like. It sounds a bit weird for me to say personally, but it's just my opinion. And there's a few grapples that she's had with this particular height. Twice clearing at the French indoor championships over the last few years, but never able to climb higher. Still very capable, I'm sure. Equal personal best of a few times in your career often suggests that you're capable of more. Honsel done well to fulfill her potential in terms of clearing heights the last couple of years, but I think she'd like to maybe have more medals to show for it. She's been very unlucky actually, because she was 7th at the World Championships in Tokyo, 8th in Budapest, Glasgow 2024 World Indoors she was 4th, same with Apeldoorn last year, and 6th in Istanbul European Indoors 3 years ago. 6 times top 8 at major championships, 6th at the Olympics in Paris. Last August clearing 2 meters for the first time. 194 this year, by the way. So Eleanor Patterson making things look easy in front of her. Still a decent group of high jumpers who are doing well to try and keep with the proverbial pace, including Ballet, who has been the leader. So Al Salami. Well, interesting, because I mentioned a short while ago that he was German based on what's on the results, and I quickly corrected that to Syria, which I have in my notes because yeah, that's what it says on his World Athletics profile, and that's the vest that he was wearing. So it certainly does appear. Go with Syrian on that basis rather than what's on the result sheets. We may of course have links to Germany as we see Dorothea Gantert. Well, has she finally been beaten then in this competition? Unfortunate for her, because she's having a brilliant run, the 19-year-old, through these heights. Just not enough to separate her in the bar there, and out at 192, but to be even attempting it at 19 years of age is still pretty strong. And especially given coming into the competition, her PB was 187, and even that was only set a little earlier on this month. Yeah, so this quite often happens in the linear jumps. You have big group of 8 or 9 athletes, and suddenly they're whittled down very quickly. All the while our leader is just rattling through with ease and waiting to see what everyone else does. So 4 women went out with 3 failures at 189. Interesting, not seeing any passing going on really compared to pole vaults. And latest to go out is Solène Giquel. Honsel, 1 chance left to stay in. And she's the sole remaining German, of course. Yeah, not enough height there for Giquel. So Fatoumata Bali, Guinea, Eleanor Patterson of Australia, Christina Honsel, here she is, the German.
Jetzt sind wir alle bei Christina Honsel, denn die hat jetzt auch ihren 3. Versuch bei 1,92. Jetzt braucht sie unsere Unterstützung. Christina Honsel im Hochsprung.
Honsel out of the competition on home soil, leaving just Bali and Patterson to fight it out. So yes, a couple of moments ago we had 9 jumpers left in, and now just the 2. Bali trying to enter new territory, now having equalled that national record. But if neither was to clear 194, then because of that 1 failure at 192 for Patterson, then Bali would win the competition, which would be quite something given the differences in personal best. Patterson 202. Back to the men's triple jump we go. Let's check back in how things are going. So Tricky meeting record 17.14, adding 8 centimeters to what he'd done here previously, And in second place, so some way back, is Nekati of Turkey. This man here next, Christian Napoles, in third, 16:26. So not too much between them. Had a look there and feels satisfied. You can see the wind looking very, very still here today, almost none at all.
1,94.
So Alexander Onufriev in the pole vault now. He's looking good so far today, as is Filchens, you'd have to say. He's cleared 4 heights so far. I mean, partly because we haven't seen some of the athletes as much, because some have passed and he hasn't. Fascinating to see how Bali does here, as she looks to break this record outright. Yes, only 2 centimeters higher, of course. That was nothing like her fantastic first attempt at 192.
Die vorherige hat ausgelassen, jetzt hier bei 5,60.
Direkt rüber zum Dreisprung zu Melvin Raffin.
This is Pedro Boado indeed. Yeah, just the second time that we've seen him vault at a height after passing at 550. Another first time failure for him. Melvin Raffin, second attempt. There's just a couple of jumps left to go in this second round. Melvin Raffin, good speed on this runway here, lovely and fluid through those phases, hop, step and jump. Gets the green indicators, you can see on the board, somewhat drenched in sunlight. Yeah, really good power as he hits the ground. You want to get off the ground as quickly as possible with that step. Keep up that energy. 17:13, very, very strong.
Und es geht die Entscheidung im Hochsprung mit Eleanor Patterson, 1,94.
So, what's that? Just 1 centimetre behind what Tricky has already done, and Tricky goes next. After Eleanor Patterson in the high jump first. 194, right, so suddenly made it much, much more difficult now for Bali. Patterson, you would think all but confirmed as the victor now, but we'll wait and see whether something special is coming the way of Bali. Is Olin Oates.
Und da ist der alte neue Meeting-Rekordhalter. Yasser Tricky, der Athlet, gesponsert von Glück auf Immobilien, jetzt bei seinem zweiten.
Yasser Tricky already leading with 17:14, a meeting record by 8 centimetres, but his advantage just the 1 centimetre from Melvin Raffin of France. So what can he do here? Great leap there, all the way out, beyond 17 metres again, surely. So what has he done here? The Algerian, Yasser Mohammed Tricky, twice a world indoor medalist. Spot on the board. Transferred that energy well and leapt his way through that jump phase. Let's have a look. 17:39. So in total, meeting record that he's improved on by 33 centimetres across the first 2 rounds. Bali back to the high jump. Not sure it's looking that close, to be honest, with those first 2 attempts. Been so consistent up to that point, and still has 1 more go left. Waters. So he has 2 failures at 560. Filchi and Zanufri are both over. That was Klosowski here, opening up the 3rd round now.
Sicher sein, 15:32, dass weiterspringen darf. 10 Athleten gehen in den 4. Versuch. Aber das ist jetzt alles egal. Wir haben dieses Jahr noch keinen nationalen Rekord hier gesehen bei den Tagen der Überflieger. Und sowas gehört zu mir.
Fatoumata Bali, final attempt 194. She's going to give it everything she's got here. Got 90 seconds or thereabouts left on this clock. The athlete from Guinea just equalled her national record a moment ago. Still got plenty of energy. And try and soak up every last drop of this competition. So she's brought the energy. She's brought a great performance, going toe-to-toe for some time with Eleanor Patterson, who's already cleared at this height, but who is a former world champion. So whatever happens stands her in good stead for the rest of the season. Yes, you just got the feeling that it wasn't quite there today. Then again, just the 2 centimeters higher. But I'm sure she'll make it over one day. Yes, coming off early there with the hand. It's hard, that. Sometimes a bit of a protective reflex reaction, but yeah, just didn't quite have enough height at 194. Patterson then the victor, and expected really, but we'll see what she wants to do next. Now that she can set the bar to a height of her choosing, as Boiro does go clear at 560. So after this, we go up by just 8 centimeters. See Boiro in the Benfica vest there. There is Patterson. So season's best in Czechia, 197 in February. She was second to Ollie Slagers at the Australian Championships. Only other outdoor competitions this year on the Diamond League circuit in Rabat and Xiamen. Haven't seen too much of this athlete, Maximilian Skarke, 20-year-old German indoor bronze medalist. 1578, a recent personal best last month in Berlin just a few weeks ago. So remember looking at that measuring board, if you like, where the distance is written, and it's coming up green if it's a valid jump. The top strap of that screen, which it is, and the result comes up quickly as 1534. His personal best was 1552 last year, so it's a decent improvement that he's made of 26 centimeters. So Eleanor Patterson, former world champion here in Germany, a winner of this competition. What can she do now? And continues to climb higher. That was one of her best jumps that we've seen so far yet. Of course, now she doesn't have the waiting around between jumps to the same degree. Clears 196. What will she do next? Waters at 560 in the vault. Bar comes down there, unfortunately. I think that is his third attempt now. That is the case indeed. So Sandberg at the previous height, Waters at this, and his compatriot Oates has one more go. Back to triple jump Al Salami. We remain in the third round.
Al Salami. 1583 und damit jetzt auf Rang 6.
1583 for him. So Oates at this new height of 568 goes clear, and looking strong here, the sole remaining participant of the American contingent of 3.
So, ich weiß nicht, wer von euch schon mal was von Gentler Victoria gehört hat. Da lacht sie schon. Das kennt man selbst in Australien nicht wirklich. Und wenn man da aufwächst, dann macht man Leichtathletik, denn das ist die Sportart in der Highschool. Und da kommt sie her, die Weltmeisterin aus Australien. Fast 200 Kilometer landeinwärts von Melbourne. Springt jetzt 1,98.
So Patterson with the freedom now of having won this competition here in Essen, able to concentrate on her own performance here even more. Let's see what she can do in the Adidas kit. First time clearance at 196, made it look very easy a moment ago. What about this time? And same result. And that is a meeting record. It had been 197 to the German Imke Urnen. Nice, clean and tidy there. Keeps some distance between her and the bar. Perhaps looking towards the Commonwealth Games coming up in, well, less than a month's time now. Well, just over a month, sorry, I should say. So she's over 198, that was. And will perhaps next go for 2 meters, just continuing with the increments that were set before the competition started. Christian Napoles, he's in 4th place in this 3rd round of the men's triple jump, still led by Yasser Mohammed Triki, who's at the end of the jumping order. 17:39 is best so far. Also a meeting record. We had quite a few of those today, of course.
Meisterschaft in diesem Jahr geworden, weil da gibt es noch eine andere Hochspringerin, die auch nicht schlecht ist. Nicola Rodislages ist die aktuelle Weltjahresbeste in 1,99. Die hat sie bei den Meisterschaften in Sydney den Titel weggeschnappt vor Eleanor Patterson. Und wenn sie jetzt die 2 Meter springt, ist sie wieder die Nummer 1, auch in ihrem Heimatland in Australien in diesem Jahr. Und das in der Welt sowieso. Und kurz schauen wir vor den 2 Metern aber noch zu dem zweiten 17-Meter-Springer des heutigen Tages. Das Ding hier ist noch nicht entschieden. Melvin Rappe. Was sagt er zu der Vorlage von Yasser Tricki? Dritter Versuch. Melvin Rappe. Schaut auf deine Hände. Das ist jetzt ganz ruhiger.
Melvin Rafa in second place. He's 26 centimeters behind our leader, Tricky. And it looks like he is certainly close to 17 meters there. I don't say if it's an improvement, but it's spot on the board, I think. So let's wait for this distance to come up now. Patterson next to go in the high jump in just a moment, the sole remaining competitor, of course. So watch out for that measurement, the triple jump. Here comes Patterson at 2 meters now, I believe. So the 2022 world champion from Australia here in Essen at 2 meters. Unstoppable so far. Here she comes, accelerates and climbs over 2 meters. What a performance from Eleanor Patterson. 4 consecutive first-time clearances. And as expected, she was the last to enter the competition. She was patient, she waited. And now her technique has just been spot on time and again. It's almost like watching a replay from height to height. So she extends that meeting record. And it's only the 3rd time she's made it over 2 meters. First time outside of a major championship. Yasser Mohammed Triki. And he plants his feet in what looks like over 17 again. 17.22 for Melvin Raffan, by the way, who cuts the lead to 17 centimeters.
Ihr habt das gesehen, Yasser Tricki hat den Sprung quasi abgebrochen, ist einfach nur noch gemütlich nach unten gefallen und springt damit noch 16,99. Ich glaube, wir haben da noch 3 Sprünge und wir können da noch was sehen. Er ist ja gerade am Freitag in Doha nationalen Rekord bei Ehrling wieder gesprungen mit 17,69. Schauen wir mal, ob das hier alle 3 Disziplinen gerade hochgradig spannend. eine einzigartige Alleinunterhalterin im Hochsprung.
Onufriev, 5.68. Well, he's another athlete who's been very, very consistent so far, but that strong run comes to an end just for now. 2 more attempts to come. Well, I wonder whether Eleanor Patterson is going to continue jumping after making it over 2 meters for the first time outside of a major championship. Did it twice during the 2022 season, first in Belgrade at the World Indoors where she was second behind Yaroslava Mahuchik, and then in Eugene when she won gold at the World Championships on countback against Mahuchik at 2:02, which is her personal best. The Australian record is Nicola Olislager's, though, 2:04, Zurich last year. So is she going to attempt to equal her personal best? That's what we're very keen to see. Or might she feel that getting 2 meters is a brilliant result for today's competition, and she will pack up and move on with full of confidence to wherever she's going next. Guado of Portugal, so he brings the bar down there, another who's looked strong so far.
So, und der heiße Ritt geht weiter, 2,2 Meter. Jetzt die Sprünge für Patterson im Hochsprung. Wir machen langsam so weiter, wie vorhin jetzt 2 Meter. Genauso.
Eleanor Patterson is going for 2:02, personal best height, the one that took her to gold medal in 2022 at the World Championships. So can she equal her personal best at 2:02? Patterson again. Oh, finally she's beaten. It was looking like that would never happen. Incredible consistency to this point. Let's have another look here. Just brushed it off late on. Back of her ankle there. Still potentially within reach.
Das war nicht so, ich glaube, im Dreisprung, da gab es einen Gulti.
Milan Klosowski.
Und nicht reicht für den 5. Versuch, nochmal zur Erklärung. Alle Athleten gehen in den 4. Versuch, die 8 Besten gehen in den 5. Versuch.
The triple jump competition that he's in, still led by Yasser Mohammed Triki. As we see here, Bokanda Lita Bara. Just seen him once so far in the competition at 550. That was his only attempt so far, and cleared straight away. After he was brilliant through the age group rankings, then got a European senior silver in Munich 4 years ago. 590 is personal best, 576 this year. Also another athlete who had a decent 2022 season and was trying to get back to his very best. So let's see what he's capable of today. Well, I'll make it that no one has cleared 568 so far. One failure for Filchins, Onufriev, Boado and Oates. So what about Bakandalita Bala? Let's go. One failure for Klaus too. Well, he joins them, and in fact, this pattern continues.
So, und wir sind wieder beim Hochsprung. 2 Meter und 2.
Second attempt for Eleanor Patterson, the Australian, the 2022 world champion, trying to match the height that got her the gold medal in Eugene 4 years ago. What can she do? She's already gone over 2 meters for only the 3rd time in her career and the first time outside of a major championship. So what a result this would be. Patterson! I think the first attempt was slightly closer, if anything. So is she going to give this one more try? Yeah, you can see heels there just swinging inwards. And she wanted to bring them up. Really tough, and this is a fantastic result, whatever happens now. Plenty of athletes who we see clearing 2 meters all the time, but yeah, Patterson, 3rd time in her career, but we know as well she's a great championship performer, as evidenced by the fact that 2 previous times were at World Championships indoors and out. Filchins pole vaults, 568. Second attempt failure there for the Belgian.
Aus Schweden, der kennt übrigens auch noch die legendäre Bezirkssportanlage Überruhr. Der schiebt sich in die Top 6, das ist wichtig. Und dann schauen wir auf den Berliner, auf den Mann vom LAC, auf Mohammad Amin Al-Salami. Ja, steht das große Finale der Tage der Überflieger 2026 bevor.
Wir schauen zum Stabhochsprung. Alexander Onufriev mit seinem nächsten Versuch.
Onufriev. Well, few struggles here at 568 now. About to see that sort of similar moment that we predicted may happen. A bit like the high jump at 192. Suddenly getting closer to quite a few of their personal bests here in the field. Onufria 570 at best. That was equalled, in fact, in Cottbus in Germany in January. Originally did it in 2022. Same year that Patterson originally cleared 2:02, this height that she's now going for a third time. So let's see what she can do. Whatever happens, though, clearing 2 meters for the third time in her career is a brilliant result. 2 centimeters higher here. Third attempt. Final chance to get over to equal her personal best. Oh, that was the closest. Absolutely, that was the closest. But the crowd have been given a good show today. Not often that you're able to see a 2-meter clearance as a spectator. But you can see there the smile comes out, full of confidence, I'm sure. Yeah, going into the Commonwealth Games coming up next month. Patterson looks good at this stage, and just bar comes bumping off. Gave it her best shot. So that concludes the women's high jump. And that'll be quite a meeting record for someone else to challenge in future at 2 meters. Men's pole vault going on with Boaro, and another going underneath the bar, I'm afraid. So that's his second failure. Filchens, Onufriev and Boaro all in that situation. And then Oates, Litabara and Kreis with 1 failure, and they will go shortly in the men's triple jump then. The other event that's still ongoing, it's in the 4th round now. Napoles is in 4th place, 16:26 still his best from the opening round. Well, interesting to hear from Eleanor Patterson, being interviewed there by Michelle Summit. Let's see what Melvin Raffan can do then. Chasing down Yasser Mohammed Triki. Did cut the gap just a few moments ago in that 3rd round, but foul in the 4th. Improvements in this particular round have come from Alex Fabri, 16:30, showing as a personal best for the Italian. Fabri, who was fourth at the European Under-23s last summer, 16:22 had been his PB. And Gabriel Wallermark, 16:09 in 6th place, also an improvement in this round. So everyone has 2 jumps left. Still 6 athletes remaining in the pole vault at 5:68. Back to that in a moment. Here is Maximilian Skarke, 20-year-old German indoor bronze medalist. Improved overall by 26 centimeters this year. Just the one valid jump for him so far. 15:34 came in the 3rd round. Gabriel Wallermark won the European and World Under-20 titles in 2021. That's his best achievement in the sport today. His personal best remains from Nairobi 5 years ago, 16:43. Remember, I think it was Maya Urskag also emerged that year. Another Swedish jumper. 16:19, he improves. So stays in the same place in 6th positionally though. Al Salami. Just talking about Maya Ursko, she went one better than Wallermark because she got the double-double European Under-20 long jump and triple jump title, and then the exact same result at the World Under-20s after that. Of course, it was a reduced competition in the sense that not everyone sent a team to Nairobi. Al Salami. So he is in 7th place, 15:83. And Walmart one position ahead of him on 16:19. So would need to improve by 26 centimetres. Make that 27, because it would go down to count back, and Walmart's second best would be a further jump.
Eben persönliche Bestleistung hier schon gesprungen. Der hat den Steg verstanden in Essen. Da kommt er noch 8 Zentimeter drauf. Alex Fabi. Der war übergetreten. So, ich glaube, wir haben den Stab Hochschuh wieder gefixt.
Running straight through there, Alex Fabry in the 5th round. As I was saying, he's one of 2 who improved with their last go in the 4th. So as it stands, Yasser Mohammed Triki, 17.39. Melvin Rafa, 17.22. Nekati who passed in the 4th round, 16.32. That's the top 3. Fabry just 2 centimeters behind that. Checking back in with the pole vault. This looks to me like Volta's Kreis. So 5.68 proving a challenge. And either the results have been slow to update, or there's been a bit of a while without any pole vault action here. I think that may well be the case. A good 10 minutes without any attempts, yes. Second time failure there for Kreis. Napoles. So heading towards the concluding stages of this competition here. In the triple jump, Napoles, he's worked hard, but hasn't managed to match what he did in the opening round. 16.26 leaves him in 5th place, but there are just 6 centimeters separating 3rd from 5th. 23 separating 3rd from 6th place. 16.49. So, well, shows you that just needed that small improvement really, but it's a decent chunk added to what he'd done before, and he goes above Nekati. We wait and see whether he'll continue again. Lita Baida, 5 meters 68, in the same position as everyone else. Oh, and nearly got that badly wrong. Just managed to cling on really at that point and let gravity do its thing to get him down. I wonder whether anyone's going to clear 5.68. Well, they've all got one more go. Nekati, well, back in the competition. 16.32. A bit stuttery on the runway. Yeah, looks a little bit flat there, so maybe moving a little bit gingerly. Certainly, yeah, foot was over where it needed to be. Filchens, the first of the athletes trying to stay in the competition, and he bows out. Well, he had been going so well before this. 3 consecutive first-time clearances for the young Belgian. European Under-20 bronze medalist last year. Winner of that title, Axel Rogo, a young Swede. And a couple of young Swedes making their way up the ranks, which is great to see. It won't surprise you who they'll be inspired by, I'm sure. Mondo Duplantis, set to be inspiring others for some time to come. He's still young, really, but he's joked that he's now that he's old. It's now really the ones that the others look up to, which is fascinating to think of. Melvin Raffat, again, just not quite executing through there, unfortunately for him. So just tricky left in this 5th round. He actually did pass again, another to pass the 4th round, so yeah, we'll have to wait and see whether we do end up watching his jump here in the 5th. Onufriev now, so he's also had some issues here. Of course, once you go up higher heights, you end up having longer poles as well. There's that adjustment to be made also. Let's have another look. So plants the pole, waits for it to bend, but doesn't climb high up to 12 o'clock. The pole is bending quickly forwards there and can't climb up in time. Almost when you're working backwards, it can sometimes work to get straight up to 12, as I like to call it, but ducked out of that one. We do see Tricky, but he ducks out as well, so you know, curious couple of moments here, but well, how great was it? Let's just reflect on Eleanor Patterson clearing 2 meters, a real highlight of this competition, and is likely to be the main headline here, the way things are going, and just terrific for her. Really, of course, maybe she would hope it would be in an Olympic or World Championship year, building towards that, but still the Commonwealth Games and a title she won in 2014 when she was still a teenager back then. She's 30 now, and it will be another one of those stories going back to Glasgow, assuming she does compete, of course, which is not necessarily confirmed. But it'll be another story of returning to Glasgow and hoping to emulate what she did there and get another gold medal, add it to her list, her roster. So Boiro, oh well, he's much closer than Onufriev and Filchens before him, but 3 athletes remain in the competition. Let's give them every chance and see if they can clear. Boiro coming into this with a 5.82 personal best, so 14 centimetres below that. He cleared 5.72 this year in Pombal is his personal best from 2 years ago. 5.82 the national record. Yeah, competed at the Olympic Games a couple of years ago without making the final. Here's a Waller mark, a little bit of a stutter there with the run-up, just to check. Can still sometimes be effective, even though you risk losing momentum. So, back to the pole vault in a moment. Good when the action comes thick and fast. Switching between both competitions, both disciplines. 16.33, so it was effective. And he is into 4th place. Gabriel Wålemark, a season's best for the Swedish jumper. An outdoor season's best, in fact. He got 16.34 to win his 3rd Swedish indoor title earlier this year. So Olen Oates here, well, jumping, but jumping under, I'm afraid. So just 2 left. 31-year-old Olen Trey Oates, personal best from a couple of years ago in Albuquerque indoors, 5.82. If no one clears, then Filchen's the winner on countback. Alex Fabry here. A little bit out of control there, and I think that is going to be... Oh, it's a green indicator, in fact. Let's have another look here. Well, excellent on the board, but I think... I just wonder why he was so disappointed there. Let's see what the distance is. 16:08. May have been just a trailing part of his body there. The Latvian Wolters Kreis World University Games silver medalist last year. Oh, and he is the closest for sure. Yeah, that a bit frustrating for him. Also, another who's got a 5:82 national record. 5:80 cleared this year. Well, that was in Valmiera in Latvia in February. That PB goes back to last year in Roubaix in France last February. So yeah, a lot of these athletes, as is very common, have achieved their best indoors. He's a 6 times Latvian champion, second behind Simon Guttormsen at those World Uni Games last year, and also the European Under-23 bronze medalist in Bergen. So it's a good season, and he's trying to build on it. Lives to fight another day. Nekati of Turkey, giving it one more go to see what he can do to improve his distance. There's a good old battle in there. I think this is a red flag. Yes, absolutely. So that big improvement for Napolis has made a bit of a difference. Oh, 6 athletes left in the competition. And now just the one. So this would be something very special. Under pressure from the Candelita Bayra. Oh, goodness me. The crowd was standing up expectantly. So unfortunate for him because, yes, you know, it's not a major championship here, but that would be something quite special. Everyone else has gone out. You're in the 3rd attempt. You've got one more chance. You know you can clear this height. A shame for him. But it means that Filchen's wins on countback. And yes, 6 different athletes out. Interesting that they didn't elect to pass at any stage while attempting 5:68 at all. Right, Napoles. The Cuban here, 16:49. Big gap to Rafa, but let's see what he can do in the final round. Applauds the support who've stayed to watch the remainder of these last couple of events now. Indeed, last event. Now the pole vault's wrapped up, seemingly. Looks like that leaves us with just the 2 jumps left for Rafa and Tricky. So are we going to see a change of leader here? We had recently Malaika Mahambo in Germany in the long jump, overtaking in the final round, and then with the final jump reclaiming first place and reclaiming the meeting record that she had held before the competition. So Melvin Rafa, again, you know, trying to replicate being under pressure, imagining this is the European Championships and he's trying to get victory, or he's trying to get on the podium perhaps. He's got one more go to do it. Important stage of the season to really build on the early promise that you've shown so far, and Ellen Patterson was saying that, having a busy week of competitions and seeing what she can do and making the most of an atmosphere where spectators are stood close by. So what's he got left in the tank? Melvin Raffan driving hard down this runway. Sun-soaked Essen. And he looks like he's pretty happy with that. Don't forget the lead of Tricky, 17.39, 16 centimeters better. 17 in fact. So what's this going to be? Stays in the air nicely following that step. 17.06. So Tricky, the Algerian, confirmed as the winner of the competition. Someone who's another great championship performer in recent times. Of course, Rafa, we've seen him be in the top 8 a number of times, but 2022 World Indoor 6th, European Indoor 8th last year, and European Indoor 5th in 2017. So yeah, another athlete who emerged as a teenager back then. Tricky, 17.67, his national record, coming in the Doha Diamond League just a couple of days ago. World Indoor bronze medalist this year with 17.30. Look at that, great final phase there. Just to bring those feet forward as far as possible. Andy Diaz Hernandez, of course, of Italy, winning the title ahead of him. 2 years ago, he was second behind Hughes Fabrice Zango, Burkina Faso. 17.42, 3 centimeters further, he's able to find. Fantastic stuff. And yeah, he was third behind Pablo Bichado in Doha. On top today, looking strong. Former Arab champion and Mediterranean Games winner. 5th at the Olympic Games in Tokyo. 4th at last year's World Championships. 5th in Budapest. On top by 20 centimetres in the end today. One of a number of meeting records, which suggests the competition maybe it's a little bit stronger than it has been in the past. Sometimes when you see a real spate of them. But yeah, good standard of competition today. To have multiple athletes over 17 meters and over 2 meters in the high jump. We thought that we might see a bit more in the pole vault given the amount that were left at 5.68, but not to be today, unfortunately. Women's triple jump, of course, taking place before that, along with some of the junior events, and we saw a victory there for the Cuban Davis lady Velasco, 14.56. For her. Daria Derkash of Italy, another who might feature at the European Championships, improving in the final round, 14.39.
My favorite champion in the whole world. Thank you, Ethan. I'm so happy to be here again. Hopefully to be here next year. Meeting Drucker again.
Also es ist sein allerliebstes Springermeeting in der ganzen Welt, in Essen. Und hofft, dass nächstes Jahr wieder da ist und wieder ein Meeting-Rekord springt. Yasser, on Friday night, you jumped a national record in Doha. You jumped on a plane, flew here overnight, and now you delivered. What can we expect next from you? Was machst du als nächstes?
I could not miss this chance to jump here again in Essen. So I made a lot of sacrifice to be here. It was really hard for me. To be honest, I just want to show my full potential. I know I can do much more better. Maybe late August and September, I will move to my full top approach. Surprise.
Also es ist noch nicht mal sein voller Anlauf. Im August, September, dann schaut er mal, ob er dann wirklich seinen vollen Anlauf mitnimmt. Und er wollte einfach nur hier sein, er hat viel gearbeitet, ist am Freitagnacht aus Doha von der Überflieger gekommen und wollte aber Essen nicht verpassen. Thank you so much. Congratulations, old and new meeting record holder. Yasser Tricky.
Thank you, Ethan.
So the meeting ending there with that interview with Yasser Mohammed Tricky. Let's have one more watch back of his best jump there. So over 17 meters and making it look pretty comfortable. Strong competition for him. Following that national record in Doha that was mentioned just there. 17.42 in the end, improving on his own meeting record at this competition by 36 centimeters. Well, that concludes the action here from Essen and 2 days of the Tag der Überflieger. Don't forget to have a look on European Athletics' social media and website for upcoming live streams. And for now, though, all that's left to say thank you very much for watching, and hope you can join us again soon.
Auf dem zweiten Platz, the second place with 14.39, representing Italy, Daria Derka. Und die Siegerin mit neuem Meeting-Rekord. 14,56 Meter für die weltbeste Dreispringerin aus Kuba, Lady Velasco. Gratulationen, congratulations für unsere drei Dreispringerinnen. Gabriela Petrova, Daria Derka und Lady Velasco. Tag der Überflieger auf der Zielgeraden noch 3 Sieger hier haben Weltklasse Sport gesehen. Die Veranstaltung hat 10-jähriges Jubiläum gefeiert und der Oberbürgermeister, viel schöner so, der Oberbürgermeister hat auch 10-jähriges Jubiläum gefeiert, nämlich 10 Jahre Schirmherrschaft der Tage der Überflieger.